Hi guys, let's discuss today's set of questions. And the first one is about National Film Awards. Who won the Best Actor award at the 68 National Film Awards? Both Ajay Devgan and Surya. That's Surya on the right there. Both have won the national award. So I'm going to discuss the National Film Awards for 2020. So 68th National Film Awards, please go ahead, write this. So best feature film, everything is best. So feature film, best feature film called Surarai Potru. Surarai Potru. This means this is a Tamil movie. It's a beautiful film. Everyone should watch. I think I would hugely recommend. Of course, yeah. This is a movie everyone should watch. It's about the character played by Surya. He wants to fly. He wants to build an airline from scratch, and he wants to do it for the common person. I mean, he's the common person should be able to fly. Okay, so this is, you could say, in one way it captures the story of Deccan Airways. Okay, it means praise the brave, and it was directed by Sudha Kongara. Directed by Sudha Kongara. So usually the best feature film award goes to the producers, but here I'm giving you the name of the director, Sudha Kongara. So that's the best feature film. Next, best feature film providing wholesome entertainment. Best feature film providing wholesome entertainment, and the movie is Tanhaji. This is a good movie, pretty good movie, and this was directed by Om Raut. Yeah, Om Raut. This captures the story of a Maratha general named Tanaji, and the role was played by Ajay Devgan. Ajay Devgan. So for these two movies, these two guys being the lead actors they got the national awards. They've done a fabulous job. The Ajay Devgan, of course, is generally very pretty good, and Surya is a superstar. Yeah, someone who's pretty versatile. He's done all kinds of films. He's played roles across a spectrum. Next, best direction, Ayappanum Koshim. Yeah, I know. Let me, best direction, Ayappanum Koshim. It means Ayappa and Koshi. It's a Malayali title, and I learned the pronunciation from my Malayali colleagues. I have a lot of Malu friends here in my office, so they told me this is how I went to them and asked them, how do you pronounce this? They said it's Ayappanum Koshium, yeah. So forgive my mispronunciation if there is any. And it was directed by the award went to Sachidanand KR for film Ayappanum Koshim. So the best director award went to Sachidanand for this movie. Next, best children's film. In the case of best director, I should have given the name of the director first and then the film for which he got this. Okay, but anyway, right. Best feature film, best children's film, Sumi. I'll write the name here, Sumi, and it was directed by Amol Gole. Amol Gole. Next, best debut film of a director. Best debut. Debut is the first film. T is silent. Debut film of a director. And the name is the guy. The film is Mandela. Very very interesting film. It's a Tamil film. Mandela is the name of the film, and directed by, what's his name, Madhone Ashwin. Yeah, Ashwin. It's difficult to recall such things, but I try. Next, best actor. Ajay Devgan and Surya for the two movies that we mentioned earlier. Next, best actress. I'm so sorry. Best actress, Aparna Balamurli for Surarai Potru. So best actor, best actress both went to, Surarai Potru. So Aparna Balamurli. Next, best supporting actor. Best supporting actor, Biju Menon. Biju Menon for what is that? Ayappanum Koshiyum. Ayappanum Koshiyum. A while ago we mentioned this film. Next, best supporting actress. Best supporting actress dash Lakshmi Priya Chandramouli. Lakshmi Priya Chandramouli. It's a very long Tamil film name, and I'm not greatly comfortable with pronouncing it, so I'll just skip that part. Okay. Sivaranjiniyum Innum Sila Pegalum. So don't worry too much about it. Okay. It's very difficult to pronounce words from a language you're not familiar with. This is a stock question. It does not relate to current affairs, but inflation is an issue that's been capturing the imagination of people around the world. Now, inflation is not an India-specific phenomenon. If you look at Turkey, Turkey's inflation, officially is 59%, and this by the end of this month, July, it's likely to touch 74%. So something that had cost you 1 rupee 1 year back would cost you 74 rupees today. That's Turkey. If you look at a lot of countries, you look at Japan, you look at Japan's inflation target is 2%. Because for ages Japan has suffered deflation, where inflation is not something that they are familiar with. I'll explain each of these terms to now. Okay, so let's start with inflation. The notes that I'm going to share with you would be such that you would understand on your own all the things that you should be familiar with. You don't need extraordinary deep knowledge of these things, but yes, you need to be familiar. Okay, right. Inflation. Inflate karna. Balloon ko inflate karte hain. When you inflate a balloon, you make it large. You pump air into it. So inflation dash, without grammar we'll write this. Okay, rise in general price level. Rise, R-I-S-E, rise in general price level of goods and services. Of goods and services dash this mostly happens due to higher demand and lower supply. Higher demand and lower supply. Next, dash, continue without grammar. reduces purchasing power of money. Inflation reduces purchasing power of money. Purchasing power of money, which means that your money buys less. When prices increase, commonsensically you would know that money buys less. Okay. So the purchasing power of money decreases. Okay? That's inflation. Leave one line space. Right? Disinflation. Disinflation. Simple meaning. Reduction in rate of inflation or decrease in rate of inflation. Decrease in rate of inflation dash may be due to decrease in money supply, decrease in money supply, or lower economic growth. So when do prices go down? No, usually they go down when supply rises. But sometimes because inflation is so high, inflation is very high. That's one of the major reasons is higher demand for low supply. But when is there higher demand? When you have money with you. When there is money, which means when there is purchasing power, and when there is purchasing power, the good demand for goods and services rises. But then when do you have money? When there is a large amount of, when the liquidity, when the supply of money in the market is higher. So here in the case of disinflation, inflation reduces. When does it reduce? From 5 to 4%. It does not mean there is no inflation. So let's say inflation is 7%. Here disinflation means from 7% it has come down to 6%. So a situation where the rate of inflation goes down, you call it disinflation. Fair. So why will this happen? Maybe because supply of money has gone down. People have less money. When people have less money, their purchasing power goes down. When their purchasing power goes down, their demand for goods and services also decreases. Okay. Yeah. So from disinflation, next to deflation, right? Deflation. Okay. Deflate means taking out something, especially the air. When you deflate a tire, you take out air from it, you flatten it. Okay. So right. Fall in general price level. Fall in general price level dash when inflation falls below 0%. When inflation falls below 0% dash increases purchasing power of money. Dash arises when supply is high and demand is low. Supply is high and demand is low. So Japan for decades has had deflation, where the Japanese wouldn't spend money. Now, why wouldn't they spend money? It's a story for some other class. But historically, the Japanese have not spent money, which also has meant that there is no demand for goods and services, and which also has eaten into what we say people's quality of life. People either they're reducing their quality of life or remain where they are. See, people don't want to spend. When they don't want to spend, there is no demand for goods and services, so inflation goes down. On the other side, when you do not demand goods and services, that is when you don't create demand for goods and services, producers aren't incentivized to produce more. There is no need to produce because no one's buying them, your goods. So what happens is the local production goes down, which also reduces the GDP. Okay, which also creates fewer jobs. Fewer jobs. Things are pretty bad in countries like Japan. So we have a target of inflation of 4% plus or minus 2%, plus or minus 2%, which is like 6% is max. Okay. But in countries like Japan, the inflation target is 2%. Current this year for 2022, the inflation target is 2%. They are trying to push it up. Yeah, I mean, they are doing everything to raise inflation, which means there will be demand for goods and services. But the Japanese are struggling to get there. Yeah, it's a different country. Now there has been a temporary rise in prices because of the supply chain constraints. Okay, because it's a manufacturing powerhouse. This has also meant that the lot of raw materials that should come into manufacturing, that will help in manufacturing aren't coming in because of rise in manufacturing prices. There is inflation. Otherwise, there wouldn't be even that kind of inflation in Japan. Next, what is it? Not stagnation. Let's write stagflation. 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 Right, please. Stagflation. Okay, stagflation. Dash. Characterized by slow economic growth, comma, relatively high unemployment, and high inflation. Because of high inflation, people don't buy. When people don't buy, there is no demand for goods and services, which also means, economic growth goes down, which also means that, because production isn't there, companies don't employ, the employment rate also increases. So it's pretty bad situation to be in. In India, there have been lots of fears that India might encounter stagflation, India might see deflation, India might see recession. People, different things you read, different, so fears they echo. I believe that it's not likely to happen. Nothing of the sort of recession, depression, stagflation, deflation would happen in India. Yes, we have a situation of inflation, but is that a good thing or bad? I'll tell you in the next class. We have a situation of inflation. In the next class, I'm going to discuss something about the recession stuff that's happening in America. American economy has contracted for 2 consecutive quarters now. What does it mean? I'll explain in the next class. I'll talk about why a recession in the US may be good news for India. Okay. I think in a contrary way, but I'll give you my reasons as to why this may be pretty good news for us. Okay, that will come in the next class. That would happen on Thursday. Okay, whether there is a question or not on these kind of slides, I'll bring that in. Okay, maybe I'll start my class with why a recession in the US is a good thing for a country like India. I'll give you a train of thought. This is how you need to think. You could bring in the other line of thinking that you have, but first think like this, and then put those my reasons through your filters and check the world. Okay, so last one, hyperinflation dash rapid, excessive, and out of control price, price increases, Let me repeat: rapid, excessive and out of control price increases. And out of control price increases. So, dash increases of more than 50% per month. Increases of more than 50% per month. Increases of more than 50% per month. Currently, except for maybe Venezuela, no other country has hyperinflation. Venezuela currently has inflation of 927%. 927% is the rate of inflation in Venezuela, though officially it would be much lower. And last year, rate of inflation was 1631%. On that, now it is 927. So things are pretty bad, very bad in Venezuela. Yeah. I spend a lot of time on the global economy. Every day I write notes. It's good to write notes, I believe. I write analysis of stuff and all. So yesterday, someone asked me, one of our students asked me on WhatsApp, like, what do you think, recession might happen in the US? So I gave reasons, and then I talked about why it could be. The person again asked, do you think it's a good thing? It's a bad thing for India. He asked, why do you think it's a bad idea for India, bad thing for India? On the contrary, I said it's a good thing for India. Then I gave reasons. So this is what I told you that I will discuss next week has already been discussed elsewhere. I discussed this elsewhere. But anyway, this is a little about inflation, disinflation, stagflation, deflation, and hyperinflation. Okay, that was an exhaustive, discussion. Bhupinder Singh, who passed away recently, was a great singer, an extraordinary singer. He was born in 1940, if I'm not wrong, 1940, and there is not a day where I don't listen to Bhupinder Singh. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not telling you a lie. No, I don't lie. So I'll tell you something. You must have heard of this. You must have heard this great song, "Naam Gum Jayega, Chehra Ye Badal Jayega." Have you heard of this? Yeah. If you have not, please listen to this today. Naam Gum Jayega. He sang this great song. Naam Gum Jayega. Then he also sang Dil Dhoondta Hai, Fursat Ke Raat Din. I mean, amazing stuff. Unfortunately, he's no more. Yeah. He's also sung this great number, Do Deewane Is Sheher Mein, Do Deewane Sheher Mein. Very good stuff. I strongly recommend Bhupinder Singh to you all. Please listen. Music, is a it has a calming influence on all of us. Listen. See, all of us aspire to do well in life. You, I, everyone. We aspire to do well in life. We aspire to get better every single day. So this morning I was listening to a song where I think it's the title is "Sail On." Yeah. In fact, one of those lines go like, "I have always believed in the good things of life. I have always believed in the good things of life. But I know that they don't always come wrapped in sellotape. Sellotape means gift wrapping. Good things in life don't come wrapped in sellotape. Isn't it? You would understand this. And because you're working hard to get where you want to. So please continue to work hard. Life is all about hard work, learning, and applying that learning. That's also hard work. Be passionate, be interested in learning, and life will be fun. Life will be great fun. Okay? The union government has formulated the Namaste scheme for cleaning of sewers and septic tanks. Namaste stands for National Action Plan for Mechanized Sanitation Ecosystem. See, manual scavenging is a major issue in India. It's unfortunately 75 years after independence. Our people have, some people in our country who engage in manual scavenging haven't had the benefits of freedom come to them. Somewhere the system hasn't taken care of people. Yeah. So the current system, the current government has come up with this Namaste plan, which is like, there will be mechanized cleaning of septic tanks. You would have seen people, wearing their bare minimum clothes, undergarments, and all, jump into sewers, drainage pipes to clean them up because they are choked, yeah, they're chock a block with plastic and all that stuff. So these are people who are, who help us live in clean environment. Okay, Safai Karamcharis, now they are going to be called Safai Mitra. Safai Mitra. So you could write this Namaste's full name, and who's coming up with this? Who's come up with this scheme for Safai Mitras? Safai Mitras. The scheme is the brainchild of Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation. Three entities have come together to launch this scheme. So one is Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation. Next, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. You could write minister's name is Virender Kumar. Virendra Kumar. Virendra, sorry, not Virender, Virendra, DRA. Next, what is it ministry called? Housing and Urban Affairs. Housing and Urban Affairs. Housing and Urban Affairs. Hardeep Singh Puri. Hardeep Singh Puri. Hardeep Singh Puri. Now he also heads another ministry. So I put a semicolon here and write Petroleum and Natural Gas. Petroleum and Natural Gas. Petroleum and Natural Gas. Okay. So you got since Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation comes under the Ministry of Jal Shakti, you could also write Ministry of Jal Shakti, Gajendra Shekhawat. I think Gajendra Shekhawat is the name. Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. Okay, there we go, guys. With which organization has the Niti Aayog partnered to launch the Mapping and Exchange of Good Practices Initiative for mainstreaming millets in Asia and Africa? Millets are pretty important, are as a great source of iron, protein, and all, and they are a staple food in large parts of the world, especially in Africa and some parts of Asia. So I'm going to give you some dope on this. The answers, of course, World Food Program. Before we write about these organizations, I want you to write millets like sorghum, or which is jawar. You have, I'm just giving you two examples. Pearl millet. Which country is the world's largest producer of millets? India. India produces nearly 41% of the world's millet production. 41% of the world in millet production comes in India. Number 2 is Niger. This should not have a dot here. Niger. Number 3 is China. So 41% of global millet production comes from India, followed in a distant second place is Niger, and the third China. So bajra, jowar, okay, ragi, all these things are millets. So let's write World Food Program, headquartered in, what is this place? Rome, Italy. Rome, Italy. I can write there also, but anyway, Rome, Italy. And the executive director is David Beasley. David Beasley of the US. Of the US. I'll couple of organizations I'll give only the full form. The last two. In fact, the full forms of all of them. Unless the CEO is required, we will not discuss. CEO means any chief. ILO, International Labour Organization. International Labour Organization. International Labour Organization. Next, ICRISAT. This is in my city, ICRISAT. International Crop Research Institute. Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics. International Crops Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics, Hyderabad. You want the head office? You could write the head office here in the case of ILO, which is in Geneva, which as you know is in Switzerland. The Director General is Guy Ryder, but you don't require it, don't worry too much. UNESCO, you know the full name, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. This is headquartered in a place called Paris. UNHCR is United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. Headquartered in Geneva. You write the name of the Director General in this case. Director General Filippo Grandi is from Italy. In some places you may find double P, which is okay. Australian Cameron Smith recently won the 150th British Open Golf Championship. So he's a golfer. So anyway, that's an Australian guy there, Cameron Smith. He won, defeating the second place guy named Cameron Young by just one stroke. Now, if you don't understand golf, stroke and all these things would be slightly tough to get there. Don't worry, Australian golfer. He is a winner of 150th British Open, which is held at a place called St. Andrews. At 80 rupees, he won exchange rate. He won 22 crore rupees first prize. 22 crore first prize. Okay, yeah. $2.5 million into 80 rupees. 25 million is 2.5 million is 25 lakhs. 25 lakhs into 80. I think that's what it comes to, 22 crores. Which nation recently confirmed its first outbreak of the highly infectious Marburg virus that belongs to the same family as the virus that causes Ebola? Ghana. This is Ghana. Okay, this, you see this here? This is Ghana. So Ghana's capital you can see here is Accra. Just write capitals Accra. Kenya down here you see Nairobi. UK London. Nigeria Abuja. Turkey Ankara. Turkey is a new name of Turkey. See, this Ghana is one of the world's biggest producer of cocoa. Yes, this one. So you don't really require, but anyway, since we mentioned this, somewhere I have this, it almost came out. So the Ghanaian president is Nana Akufo Addo, and the currency is Cedi. Cedi. Okay. See, this is the Red Sea. This is called the Red Sea. Water is colorless. If I put water in a red glass, water would appear red. If I put water in this black bottle, obviously water would appear black. But technically water is colorless. Okay. So why does the water in this water body appear red? Because of the presence of a certain algae that gives the color red to the water. So below the surface, water surface, there is a certain kind of algae which gives the color red to the waters. Waters in plural means water body. So these waters appear red only because of the algae, the red algae. That's it. You see here. Earlier, see, this was on land, direct connection here. So earlier ships had to go, all before 1867, ships had to go, from Asia, Africa, to via the whole of Africa to Europe and all this. Movement was around Africa. In 1867, they cut this land here and built the Suez Canal. This reduced, the journey to Britain from India by about 8,000 kilometers. That's a lot of time, isn't it? Because 8,000 kilometers, you save a lot of time. You can see that this is very narrow point here. Yeah, at its narrowest, this is about 22 kilometers. Some say 14 kilometers at high tide. That's about it. Okay. What does CBS mean? CBS is Core Banking Solution. Core Banking Solution. This is a technology platform on which the entire banking network works. Banking Solution. So you have a lot of banks, being on the same platform. Like there is an Infosys product called Finacle. It's made by Infosys. So Finacle is, let's say, employed by one public sector bank called X. All the branches of X will be on Finacle. So when you open this, you could have an account, let's say in somewhere in Jhansi. You could open an account, you want to check the details of your account in Jhansi, go to the nearest branch of that bank, and you can check. Because they are all on Finacle, they can access all the data that's available in the, on this platform. Okay. It's mentioned there in choice 1. Rules, regulations and other norms relating to check, demand drafts, etc. are laid down in the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881. This is 1949. And what is SURFACE? SURFACE, please write securitization. I'll write it here. Securitization. I usually use a Z instead of an S. Securitization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of security interest Act 2002. Securitization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of security interest Act 2002. So under this, banks, you see, if I taken a loan and I put some collateral, some security, and if I don't pay back the loan, the bank under this law has a right to seize my assets. Seize my assets. So that's one of those things under this law. Okay. Next. Bank loans by hypothecation and mortgage. The T in mortgage is silent. ये जो है T, this is silent. Okay. Mortgage means गिरवी रखना are known as secured loans. Obviously, when banks lend you money, they expect you to pay back. Sometimes they ask for security. That security is mortgage, basically, technically speaking, collateral. Unsecured loans, credit cards. So when let's say I have a credit card, and this credit card enables me to spend money without, see, there is this, okay, chalo, there is this American Express card here. Okay, this American Express card says that, okay, Bharat, you don't have an account with American Express, no issue. Take this card and you could buy stuff with this. So it has a limit running into lakhs of rupees. I use this card to buy stuff that for which, let's say, I don't have money. I'm using this bank's paisa to buy stuff for which I don't have money. I'm buying on credit. Even if I have money, I would, let's say I use this card, which effectively means that I am using the bank's paisa to purchase something, to make a purchase. This, and if I default, let's say I don't pay back the bank whatever I have used the card for, that let's say I have used the card for, let's say, 8 lakh rupees. 8 lakh rupees I don't pay back. It's unsecured loan. What will the bank do to get back my money? Get money from me. To get back their money from me would be a long, big task for them. Yeah, that's an unsecured loan. So credit card is an unsecured loan. By the way, what is a soft loan? A loan with a low rate of interest. Low rate of interest. An extremely low rate of interest. Low rate of interest. Usurious loan. Very high rate of interest. Very high rate of interest. With which nation has India recently signed an agreement on wildlife conservation and sustainable biodiversity utilization? Namibia. This is a country in Africa. If you look at, okay, this is where Namibia is. This is where Namibia is, and this is where Ghana. This is Namibia. Okay, Namibia's capital is Windhoek. Yeah, I guess Windhoek. And its president is a guy called Hage Geingob. Hage Geingob. Okay. The currency would be Namibian dollar or South African rand. South African rand. You could also call it South African rand. Yes. I think we know about all of these countries, so let me give the names of the leaders of these countries, if not capitals anyway, you would know. Mexico, what's his name, yeah? Andres Obrador. Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, but tries Obrador. Egypt, Abdel Fattah El-Sisi. Indonesia, Joko Widodo. You know, Mexico is the most populous Spanish-speaking country in the world. Most populous Spanish-speaking country. This country has more Spanish speakers than any other country in the world. Okay. Australia, of course, as you know, the Prime Minister is Anthony Albanese. Anthony Albanese. Among the largest states, which state topped the Niti Aayog's third innovation index? Innovation index, you could write this, ranks, this in third innovation index ranks states and union territories on their innovation performance, to build healthy competition, among themselves, or among them. So you write this third innovation index, large states, Karnataka. Next, northeast and hilly states, another category. Northeast and hilly states. Number 1, Manipur. Next, union territories, Chandigarh. Yeah. Fair, I guess that should be it. World Chess Day is observed every year on July 20th because on this day, 1924, the FIDE, the International Chess Federation, was established. The International Chess Federation was established on 20th July 1924. Okay. So that's a little about chess. This is International Tiger Day, 29th July, International Tiger Day. July 18th, Mandela Day, International Mandela Day. July 17th, I don't have anything in mind and I don't think it's very important. Any observation is there? No. July 11th, World Population Day. Draupadi Murmu has recently been elected the 15th President of India. And you should know, ladies and gentlemen, you could write this, that you could, simple things you write. Born as Putti Tudu. That's her name. That's a name given by her father. Okay. Next. Youngest President of India. Youngest ever President of India. Age 64. Next. Some basic stuff you want to write, I can give you. 79 to 83, clerk in Odisha Irrigation Department, Power and Irrigation Department. Next, 83 to 97, teacher. 83 to 97, teacher. Next, Odisha Cabinet Minister, State Minister, comma, followed by Jharkhand Governor, followed as, no, I'm just asking you to write, these are the positions. Odisha Minister. Next, Governor, and then President of India. I was reading about her, and I found that she belongs to the Santal tribe, okay, and that in a matter of 7 years she lost her husband, two of her sons, her brother, her mother. Extreme tragics, extreme suffering she has seen, my friends. Yeah. Sometimes it's we always should count our luck, my friends. People say you should not count your blessings, but we should. Yeah, we are physically able. That's great actually. You're mentally fine. That's a great blessing. Okay. So Draupadi Murmu for all of us, my friends. Ladies and gentlemen, she is president, youngest ever president of our country. So there's this great photo I found of Draupadi Murmu. I think it's there on the Wikipedia page, where she is seated as the incoming president, and the outgoing president Ramnath Kovindji is standing behind her. It shows the humility of both of them, especially of Ramnath Kovind, that he has asked the new president to sit, and he is standing by her. Usually people either stand, both the persons stand or both sit, Here he stood next to her. Yeah, while the president was seated, he stood next to her. So a lot of learning people like us could, get from these great men and women. Name India's first passenger drone that was recently unveiled by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Varuna. This is Varuna. Varuna is this drone that can carry a human being. You could write this: range 25 kilometers, range 25 kilometers, payload up to 130 kilos. Can you beat that? 130 kilos. Flight time about 30 minutes. Okay, if you can carry a human being, amazing. Anyway, this can help. These kinds of drones can help in bridging the last mile connectivity, taking medicines to far-flung areas, taking certain kinds of goods or weapons, everything to far-flung areas, remote areas. These things, they can help a lot, especially in crisis situations. What about choice 5? No, 4. Nirbhay, right? Subsonic, we know supersonic, which is BrahMos missile. This is subsonic. Subsonic cruise missile. India's subsonic cruise missile. Next, Trishul and Akash, both are surface to air missiles. Next, which state will host the 36th National Games between September and October? Gujarat. So 2020 games were to be held in Goa, but they were postponed because of COVID. Okay, cancelled. First they were postponed, eventually they were cancelled. So the 2022 event will be held in Gujarat. Now I want you to write one thing. National Games motto. Get, set, play. Get, set, play. Yeah. Get, set, play. National Games motto. Okay. So this is the Asiatic lion. See these sports persons everywhere. Yeah. The European Investment Bank recently joined the India-led Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure to limit the destruction caused by climate change. The EIB is in Luxembourg. Luxembourg, as you know, is a tiny principality or a duchy, or you could simply say a country, in the heart of Europe. Germany, France, Belgium, it's squeezed between this. And I want you to write the name of the president of the EIB, Werner Hoyer. Werner Hoyer of Germany. Werner Hoyer of Germany. Fair. Athens is the capital of Greece. Sofia, capital of Bulgaria. Lisbon, Portugal. London, of course, as you know, UK, United Kingdom. By the way, do you know that Luxembourg has the highest per capita GDP in the world, highest per capita debt in the world, debt udhar. It's about 33 lakh dollars. 33 lakh dollars is the debt of each citizen of Luxembourg. Check out. Which is the first state to connect all registered commercial vehicles? The H in vehicle is silent. So while we may say vehicle, the correct pronunciation is vehicle. Which is the first state to connect all registered commercial vehicles equipped with vehicle location tracking device and with emergency response support system? Himachal Pradesh, where the CM is Jairam Thakur. And it has two capitals. What are the two capitals? Dharamshala and Shimla. Okay. Find the incorrect statements about the India Bioeconomy Report. I think all of them are right, so there is hardly anything for me to discuss here. I can honestly say there is pretty little for me to discuss because everything mentioned is right. A, B, C, D are all right. Okay. Which bank launched a co-branded credit card with Ease My Trip, the second largest online travel tech platform in India? Standard Chartered Bank. This is a British bank. Its CEO is a guy called, this is a logo of Standard Chartered, and this is led by William Winters. William is the actual name of a guy called Bill. So Bill is a nickname of William. So when you say Bill Clinton, it's William Clinton. When you say Bill Gates, it's William Gates. Okay. So William is Bill. Bill Winters, William Winters. Bank of Baroda, CEO is Sanjeev Chadda. Dinesh Khara, KHARA. Yes Bank, Prashant Kumar. IndusInd Bank, Sumant Katpalia. Okay. Mario Draghi recently resigned as the Prime Minister of Italy. Yeah, Italy has had about 46 or 47 prime ministers since the end of the Second World War. Can you beat that? Yeah. As of now, there is no prime minister because they are looking for a prime minister. I mean, coalition, then agreement, unanimity, then vote of confidence. So many things have to happen. Yeah. Greece prime minister is Mitsotakis Kyriakos. Mitsotakis Kyriakos. Spain, Pedro Sanchez. Next, Portugal. The more important guy in Portugal is a president who is Rebelo Marcelo de Sousa. Okay, Rebelo Marcelo de Sousa. Okay, guys, there we go. That's all from me, Bharat C. Jain. Have a lot of fun. Stay curious. Take care of yourself.